Hi, it's Lindsay again from Modern Plate Catering, and we're back at the St. Norbert Arts Center cooking up in their kitchen. Today we are making Jamaican beef patties as part of our Travel With Us series. Let's get going. All right, so to make the pastry for Jamaican beef patties, we want to start out with our dry ingredients. You're going to need a food processor for this, which we will have right there, and I'm going to get to it in a second. First, I want to tell you what we have here. We have our flour with our sugar and all of our seasonings. So we have some clove, paprika, we have some cayenne pepper, there is curry powder, as well as, let's just have a look here, allspice, we have some dried thyme, we have parsley. So I have that all mixed in here already. Now we also need half a cup of either lard, butter, or shortening, a mix of all three as well. I would not use all shortening. I do recommend using all lard or all butter or half and half. So we are going to use 100% lard here because I just like the flavor and I think it makes a really nice tender and flaky crust. But again, butter will do the same thing. We have our apple cider vinegar ready to go and our very ice cold water, quarter cup. Now, water is always variable when you're doing pastry and baking, so with doughs. So you want to make sure to add it slowly. So we'll add a little bit of it, make sure it's not too wet, and then we can add more depending on the moisture and the weather. Okay, so let's get mixing. First, you're just going to pulse this a few times. Then we'll add our apple cider vinegar, water, and let it run until it becomes a ball, and then we'll turn it out on our workspace. Again, not all of our water. Okay, looks like we'll need to use it all today. There we go. The ball is formed and it's starting to rumble our food processor around. So you can see the curry powder has given it, the dough, a beautiful color. Okay, so now we're going to get rid of our cutting board and turn the dough out onto a lightly floured work surface. There we go. There we go. Okay, so first we'll just simply take the dough, and as you can see, it's formed a nice dough here. It's beautiful, not too sticky, not too dry. So you just want to knead it just a tiny bit. You don't want to start creating too much gluten and making it a tough dough. We want a nice, soft, flaky pastry. So there we are. So we're going to grab our rolling pin. And now you want the dough to be about a ½ an inch thick. So you just want to keep turning it, shaking the table, and rolling this out as so. Now just keep turning. If you need to add a little more flour, either to the top or your rolling pin, also back to the table, that's okay. You don't want to make it too tacky and it will start to get a little sticky, so you can flip it over. There we go. It's a really easy dough to work with, so don't be frightened to pick it up and move it around. I am going to get a little more flour underneath there. There we go. And we'll just rub it on the top as well. Beautiful. So you want to get, we're going to cut rounds, so you want to make sure you get a nice, even kind of shape so that, so that you don't have too much scrap. There we go. That looks about the right size and thickness. So now we're going to have to chill this in the fridge for up to an hour, minimum an hour. You can chill it overnight as well, all rolled out on some parchment paper. So we'll just grab our tray and move this right on there. Get it into your fridge and we'll work on the filling. So now we're going to work on our filling for our Jamaican beef patties. Here we have our ground beef, our seasoning mix, onions and garlic, our eggs, as well as we have our beef stock and our breadcrumbs. So first things first, we want to get our ground beef into a nice hot pan. And then you want to make sure you mash it down and start breaking that beef up. So we have 1 pound of ground beef here. I have a lean ground beef. We are going to keep the fat that comes from the beef in the pan as well. That's what's going to soak up into the breadcrumbs as well as the beef stock. Help thicken the filling and make it really moist. So we'll mash it down. And then we don't want to touch it too much so the beef will start browning. And after we mash it down there, we're going to add in our onions and our garlic. And we're going to cook this along with the beef until the beef is fully cooked and our onions are translucent. We don't want to cook it at too high of a heat or else our garlic will burn and we don't want that bitter flavor. So we'll dump in our onions and garlic, nice and easy. And give it a stir. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper right now just to taste. And there we are. It smells delicious. You can really smell the garlic and the onions and absolutely love it. So we just want to have this on a nice high heat. And you just want to get it cooked. You don't want to get it too overcooked or else it'll dry out the beef. So right now our dough is chilling in the fridge, and as soon as we're done our filling, we're going to get that into the fridge for about 20 minutes, half an hour, to let that cool as well. We don't want to work with a filling that's too warm or it will melt our dough as we're building the pastries. There we go. So right now I'm going to add our seasoning mix, which has a mix of curry powder, chili flakes, we have garlic powder, paprika, like I mentioned before, we have thyme, parsley, a bit of salt, pepper, and everything is in here. So we want to start cooking that as well with the meat. I got a little bit on my shirt here. Just got to be careful with that. And you want to get those flavors to start developing. So we want to make sure we add this now. There we go. And give it a mix. Just get a little towel, wipe that up. Accidents happen. That's why I'm not wearing white. Okay. So we can really smell all those seasonings cooking, especially the allspice and the clove. Those really are delicious. So again, we just want to keep mashing that meat. We want those pieces of beef in the filling to be really small, and we don't want big chunks in there. It tastes a lot more tender, the mouthfeel. Okay, so this beef is looking good. Almost there. Once you can no longer see any pink, you're ready to go. So I think we're at that point right now. There we are. Okay, so now you can see there's not too much liquid and fat because I used a lean ground beef, but that is okay. There's still lots of flavor in there. Okay, so now we're going to add our breadcrumbs and our beef stock. We're going to let it cook down for about 5 minutes. The mixture is going to thicken up and be ready to go cool in the fridge. There we go. And we just need half a cup of the stock. Again, I recommend using measuring cups. Just going to eyeball this there. And give that a stir. And you can see the breadcrumbs soaking up all the liquid, making a nice moist filling, but not too moist that it'll leak out of our pastry. We want it to be moist but dry. There we go. So now at this point you're going to want to taste for seasoning. Make sure it doesn't need any more salt or pepper, and you can give it a try. And that's our filling. So we're gonna get it into the fridge, and then we're going to bring it out with the dough, and we're gonna build our pastries. After a half hour in the fridge, we've got our cooled filling, and we have our dough that's been able to rest, and so we are ready to build our pastries. I have a nice round cutter here. Feel free to use a bowl of any sort, and you can just trim around the edge with your knife, or if you have a cookie cutter, we can also make any size. These ones are going to be about a medium size once you fill them and fold them over. But again, you can make little mini ones for appetizers. You can make a couple large ones. Now I'm just gonna show you a few here, and then we'll get them in the oven. So here, you just wanna press the dough and flatten it a little bit out. Okay, and then we're going to take 1 scoop here, about a tablespoon worth of filling for the size of dough I have here. Okay, and you don't want to overfill. That's the one thing. You want to be able to bend them up, fold them across, and you don't want it to break too much on the top. So then we have our egg wash, which is just our egg whisked really well. Okay, and then you're just going to brush it around the one side. And then we just fold the dough over and press with our fingers. So there we have it. Whoop, nice and tight. Our beef patties. So we're gonna build a few, egg wash them on the top, and get them in the oven. Go again, and you'll get into a rhythm, and you can start building. You can have a train of people helping. Again, once we're allowed to hang out with people again. There we go. And then a little egg wash, and we fold them over and press. So you just want to keep your dough nice and cool. Press it down a little. If it gets too warm, they might be hard to build. There we go. And make sure you get the egg wash and the seal. If there's a little meat, get that out of the way. You want to create a seal there so that the moisture stays inside and it helps bake it. There we go. And I'll do 2 more here, just to get you the idea. So again, fill. Beautiful. Quick little egg wash. And fold. These are going to go into the oven now for 25 to 30 minutes. First, we need to get on an egg wash. So that's going to help them turn a nice golden brown color. As well, they have the nice yellow tint in the dough, so the final color is absolutely gorgeous. Go. And we'll get these into the oven. There we are. And there we are. And of course, we're not going to make you wait half an hour, so we do have some ready. Voila. There you have it. We have our Jamaican beef patties. Now, you can serve these with any kind of sauce, an apricot chutney, creamy verde sauce, as I like to make, chimichurri sauce. I'm sure there's a million others. But there we are. And there you have it. Our beautiful, delicious Jamaican beef patties. I want to thank you all for joining us this week. As you can see, we've made up a delicious dish that you can go and enjoy, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.